and welcome to the Movie Madhouse. I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
And we have got a really cool topic. When I was chatting with Jason in studio, we chat before the show when we're in studio.
Yeah.
Just saying.
There you go. Delayed reaction.
It must be a delay because he's so far away. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Jason mentioned we did a similar topic to this before.
Yeah, we've done underrated, like our underrateds. I'm pretty sure we've done that sort of thing before.
Oh.
This topic is so broad because there's always going to be, oh yeah, what about that one? Or you rediscover something. Oh yeah, like why are So this list can change often. I think it's all a matter of perspective at the time, right?
Okay.
So it's okay if some movies repeat.
Right.
Okay.
But we could do this. We could do this like a couple times a year probably and get different results, often. If we don't, then we'll know and we can. But I think it's worth an experiment.
Scratch it.
So, well, let's make that happen.
All right.
We'll set a specific date in like August or September or something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. What was I watching?
TV.
Oh my gosh. It must have been Cheers because I've been just binging Cheers lately.
Okay.
But one of the episodes in there, they actually make a reference to somebody. Okay, look, if we do it now, we won't be able to do it again until 2023.
What?
Yes. And I'm thinking they need to follow up on that episode. And I just don't remember which episode it was now because, well.
Wow. I'm going to be Googling that after.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because it was 50 years or 40 years or something like that. And the show was in 93.
No, that would have been 83. Cheers was 80s, dude.
Cheers was 83 to 90 something.
Really?
11 seasons.
Okay, I did not realize it reached the 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they're only talking 30-year jump.
Let me see.
Okay.
And again, I'm trying to remember what they were talking about, and I can't because, well, my memory sucks.
We've watched a handful of like the first season episodes and stuff. CMT started airing Cheers on a regular basis, and it just sucks us in. Cheers was a show in the late 80s, 90s, James, about a Boston bar.
I watched it. I watched parts of it occasionally when it was on. I was never a regular watcher of that.
Okay.
Right there.
All right. I didn't think that would even be close to your wheelhouse. So
right, because it's good. 1982. Sorry, had to. 1982 to 1993.
Okay. I did not realize it went all the way to the 90s. And I thought it started in like 80, but all right. Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, that show is great.
7.9 on IMDb.
Absolutely. That show's iconic. And another icon show of the 80s, Night Court, has the reboot starting tomorrow night with Melissa Rauch from Big Bang Theory playing the judge, Harry Stone's daughter.
Oh, so it's a sequel.
It's like a sequel continuation.
Nice.
It's one of those.
With no cast returning.
Wrong.
Except for John Larroquette.
Dan Fielding is there, and I think she gets him to come back to work.
Have you seen him? How is he going to come back as Dan
He looks
Fielding?
great, but you know what? I was leery, and then I saw the trailer they put out last week, and I'm enjoying the charm. It's weird hearing Bernadette in her real voice. What that happened last week too?
Yeah,
your set's trying to kill you, man.
I'm done with the light. No more extra light.
You got a Gremlins?
Probably. There we go. Much better.
But in this trailer, I'm enjoying the charm. I like it. Okay, and yeah, Larroquette. There's Dan, but the last second as it cuts out, you hear him do this iconic yelp sound. That to me is like a quintessential Dan Fielding yelp. Like when he's been caught, he's shocked. It's like kind of it's an iconic sound for me.
Look at him.
Yes.
He's a snowy Grizzly Adams.
Yes.
And actually, I just realized nobody else can see that. So here, I'm going to
what?
Share the screen.
Oh, okay.
Just like so. And there he is. A snowy Grizzly Adams. Look at that.
Yes, but it's Dan.
We'll see if it's
So-
Dan. Okay.
Tomorrow night, I'm checking it out for sure.
Oh, yep. Even Rob said Night Court was hilarious and underrated. Very much so.
Absolutely. I recently rewatched the first season, and there's one particular episode where my heart just like melted because of the relationship between Thelma, the first bailiff with Bull.
Yeah. Yes.
They have such this incredible relationship situation, and there's a particular moment that is just, it's one of the most beautiful moments in TV.
See, now, trivia. Where did Harry Anderson get discovered?
Cheers.
He was on
Yes.
Cheers. Yes, I knew he was on Cheers. I don't know about discovered was the right term.
It was because of his character Harry the Hat
okay,
from Cheers that
they
he was
turned
there.
that into that.
No,
Okay.
they saw him
Right,
and said, "Boom, there's the guy
Yeah.
for Night Court."
same guy. Like, come on, he
Which-
didn't change up the shtick a whole lot.
Which is interesting because Night Court ran from 84 to 92, right? I'm
Right.
watching the last season of Cheers. He still shows up,
Okay, so there's crossover.
but he's not Harry Anderson. He
No,
is
he's
Harry
a-
the Hat.
Right?
Yep.
Why not?
Yep.
I did not realize that happened.
Okay, we want
Or-
to throw Night Court into the light. Who got discovered on Night Court that became a huge science fiction star?
Brent Spiner.
Yes.
There we go.
And
The Wheelers.
John Larroquette quoted in an interview. He said, "I don't think we have the budget to get Brent Spiner back."
Probably not. No.
But I still love the guy who played Harry's dad on there, who the original Gomez Adams,
Yes,
John
where he
Aston.
was
Yes,
where he's always like, "But I'm feeling much better now."
Yep.
such a great show.
And that show revitalized Mel Torme.
Yeah.
Nobody knew about Mel Torme, like he was a forgotten commodity.
Yep.
And it was Harry Anderson himself who decided to make Mel Torme his thing.
That works. It just works.
They didn't even talk to him about doing it. And then he found out he was on the show, like talking about it,
Who's talking about me?
right? It became a staple. That was brilliant.
Yeah,
Oh,
man. You just it's rare to get a show that delivers all of that.
Yep. How many seasons? was that? That was 9 seasons.
Yep, it had a good run.
Very
So,
cool.
should we talk about some underrated movie
This
gems?
is a great beginning to an underrated movie show. Absolutely.
So yeah, this topic is tricky. Like, so I'm not going to put a whole lot of stock in the ranking of it, but my number 10 is Smoking Aces from 2006.
Really?
Nice.
It's a badass action flick with some really crazy characters. But amongst all that is a really cool mobster flick. And it just jives. It's got it yeah, I really, really dig that movie. And I feel like I know there's gonna be a lot of cult films in here. They have their markets and they have their fans, but I feel like Smoking Aces just does not get enough due. It is a badass flick on multiple levels.
I still have to watch it.
What?
Yeah.
With a sick twist and an unbelievable Ryan Reynolds performance.
Yes. There is no goofy Ryan Reynolds. This is Reynolds in 100% serious mode.
No. There's a little goofiness between him and Ray Liotta early on.
Just a little bit, but that comes across as the buddy partners.
Yeah, it fits. Yeah.
Ryan even says Smoking Aces has Bullet Train vibes.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now I gotta watch it.
You give it a good honest watch.
Damn it!
I'm throwing the card.
Fine. Okay, I will watch it.
Okay.
I'll even spell it right on the list. I had Soaking Aces.
Yes, no G. No G.
No. I had the apostrophe.
Oh.
I had no M. It was Soaking Aces.
soaking. I do not recommend the sequel though. Actually, it's not a sequel, it's a prequel. There's Smoking Aces Assassin's Ball, I think it's called. It is a prequel, and it's garbage.
I wouldn't say garbage, but after the original, it can't possibly measure up.
Let's take the craziest stuff from the original and make the whole movie just that. It was too much. It was too much of that craziness.
That is how I kind of credit Fire and Ice. I don't know if you remember that. It was the 90s, but it
Vaguely.
was a bunch of James Bond stunts they never used. And so they decided to build a movie around it.
That's right. I don't remember much of it. I just remember going, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
because they kept that kind of a secret, I think, from the general audience when it released.
Oh, yeah. It was much later when it came out what it actually was. So, okay, James, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is Project Almanac. This was a time travel movie from 2015, produced by Michael Bay, and it's more of it kind of combines both found footage and handheld, because a lot of the movie is they're just like record everything,
dude.
So
they find footage that is handheld, so it's the same thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
first person perspective.
The bulk of the movie is someone filming them, and it's not like somebody discovering it years later or whatever. But anyway, time travel movie where they find an old video camera of their dad's in the attic and discover they're watching footage of his like 7th birthday party, and they see someone pass by in the background. It turns out that it's one of them. It's the main kid. And so their dad died years ago, and they decide to go through his things in his workshop in the basement, and they discover plans for a time machine. So they decide to build the time machine, and they end up actually recreating the footage from his 7th birthday party, and like him actually going by in the background and stuff. So
interesting.
I think it's a fairly underappreciated, very, very imaginative with the special effects and the budget they have for time travel movies these days, with a lot of unknown young actors.
Yeah, that one was cool, because that one came out in kind of tandem in my mind, like close to Chronicle.
Not too far off, yeah.
And because they both share that element, but in drastically different ways. You know, they both really stand out. And I think Chronicle really got a lot more hype behind it over Project Almanac. Chronicle, I think, because they have Michael B. Jordan and Dane DeHaan.
Yeah, it kind of boosted, not necessarily launched, but boosted their careers.
And you always find that with copy films. I say it like that just because they always come out in pairs or triplets or something like that. One of them, like Armageddon, will take the lead. Deep Impact kind of pull coattails, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, as opposed to Robin Hood.
But Deep Impact is a great movie on its own. It's just a different type of movie.
And unfortunately, it's an asteroid movie, and everyone goes to Armageddon.
Right.
So,
but God damn it, now I want to rewatch Project Almanac, Chronicle, and that. Damn it.
Well, you're going to want to rewatch my number 10.
Okay.
1991. I love this film. Sadly, it's one of the I only have, I think, 4 films that are burned, and that's because I cannot find this film anywhere. And it's Dead Again by Kenneth Branagh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
This movie I adore just because of the twists and the turns, and Robin Williams cameo in it is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember it. I remember of it. I can't remember anything from it though.
Really?
I'm completely blanking on it. It must not have stuck with me.
It's 2 stories happening at the same time. One of them in 1990 and the other one in the 40s, I think. But it's the same people that are doing it. Like they think they're almost reincarnated.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Kenneth Branagh and
Emma Thompson.
Yeah.
Emma Thompson, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
The couple in the 40s, he ended up killing his wife, but now this woman is starting to have visions of this, and the cop, who is Kenneth Branagh, she's starting to think he is the reincarnation of this guy and wants to kill her.
It looks familiar, but no, it did not stick with me.
And like I said, the Robin Williams cameo in that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, that intrigues me somewhat. Like,
but yeah, Andy Garcia, Wayne Knight, Raymond Cruz.
Huh.
It's well worth the watch. Oh, wrong list. There we go. Okay, so now we are on to number 9. Jason.
All right, my number 9. 1995's Empire Records.
Yeah.
Like 90s, boom. You know, to me, that one I think stands out above stuff like Can't Hardly Wait. You know, even though they kind of fit in the same vein. I adore Empire Records. I rewatch it often.
Still my favorite Rory Cochrane performance.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I love him in Dazed and Confused, but yeah, there's his weird Yoda-ness that tries to maintain through the whole flick just to keep his shit together. But it just touches on so many different things in genuine ways, and and they all converge around that store. I dig it, and the soundtrack, you know, it's just a banging flick to watch.
That's what I love. Soundtrack,
and it had 2 soundtracks.
Oh yeah, it was one of those because of what it was,
and there was still a ton of songs that weren't on either of them.
It's like Dirty Dancing
and Trainspotting.
Yes,
and Empire Records gave us Rex Manning Day.
Not on Rex Manning Day. Oh man.
when he gets the brownie and he's watching Gwar.
a young Renee Zellweger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true too. I forgot she was in. That's what I love is watching some of these older films. Like literally going through Cheers, it's a who's who of people.
Oh, Woody Harrelson right off the bat. Like,
yes,
that's it. That was where everybody found out about Woody Harrelson.
But also Frasier's dad and Roz, the girl he works with, are both on.
Really?
Cheers.
Really?
Yep. Frasier's dad plays a jingle salesman that Rebecca Kirstie Alley hires to try and make a jingle for it.
Okay.
And the one actually I literally just watched where Woody runs for Congress, Roz plays a reporter and comes onto the show.
Interesting.
Like Delaney's in there and like tons of people.
Wow. Yellowstone in 1883 had a common casting. And I don't know her name. But there's an actress who in the last season of Yellowstone, the 5th season, she's what you would call a honey trap. She's coercing the stepbrother of the family, Jamie, and to go against the family. That actor played a role in the 1883 prequel series with Tim McGraw.
Oh wait, I heard about that. Yeah,
where she plays Tim McGraw's sister-in-law.
Yep,
who's along for the ride. And that's all I'm going to say. But it's the same actress, same universe. Like, all right.
I always forget her name. It's Dawn Olivieri.
Yes, and she's great. She's a great character actress. Like she's been in a ton of stuff, I think, and she always stands out to me. Yet I can't remember her name, so that's horrible.
All right, James, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is the Tim Burton film from 2016, and it's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
Dude, pick Batman. It's shorter, easier for me to write.
You just like quickly Google and copy paste.
That's what I'm going to do.
No, Tim Burton's one of the directors I find who's hit and miss, and I found this one to be pretty unique and extraordinary. I like it's technically another time travel film because they every single day wind back time so that they don't die because the giant missile that's about to hit the house. But it also has a big sci-fi fantasy element where you get this sort of group of people that are kind of turning into monsters, like with a pretty creepy Sam Jackson performance.
Yes, it's wonky, but it is a cool flick. But I can see why it gets overlooked a little bit, just because it has a very weird tempo.
Yeah.
You know? So it stutters a little bit.
And a premise that's a little hard to nail down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of where I was trying to go.
I haven't seen it.
I'm not surprised. I think it kind of falls through the cracks. I don't think it was in theaters for very long either.
No, it definitely wasn't super successful. I think it was supposed to, of course, be a franchise, but I don't think that's gone anywhere.
No.
That's because a lot of them try to do franchises out of things because of Harry Potter.
Yes, exactly.
And sometimes it just doesn't work.
They're grabbing every young adult title franchise they can and trying to throw them up, and a bunch of them have failed. Like the City of Bones series, they tried and it didn't go anywhere, and there's been a few.
Maze Runner,
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, well, Maze Runner was successful in that he got to do his trilogy.
No. He made 3 movies.
Yeah.
Let's not call it successful. He just barely made his money back.
That's technically that's a success.
Okay. Point taken. Technically, you are right.
Technically, it's a success.
Yep. We didn't lose money. Woohoo!
They crawled across the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First movie, budget $34 million, box office $348 million.
Just barely. Number 2.
Number 2, Scorch Trials, budget $61 million, box office $312 million.
I'm surprised they made a third. What did the third one make?
The third one, that one also had delays because of the main actor nearly dying. $62 million budget, box office $288 million. So the combined.
That was the week to finish, yeah.
All 3 movies combined had to be very nearly $1 billion.
Well, I know I didn't see it, so therefore.
I saw the first one. I saw the first one, and that's it.
Christina watched them all. She loved them.
They're great.
I think my nephew was a fan.
Well, it doesn't beat my number 9. And I just realized, other than 2 films, everything is from the 80s and 90s for me. I don't know how that happened.
I'm all over the place.
But mine is another Robin Williams appearance.
Okay.
Because this one hit home so much. I watched it 4 times in the theaters, 1998. What
Shakes the Clown?
No. What Dreams May Come.
That movie's impressive.
It is visually gorgeous, and I love the story.
I don't remember it.
Give it a good, honest watch.
Yeah.
Right. You want to throw that shit around?
I'm not gonna balk at that.
Yes.
All right. Done.
That one, it's one of the few that no matter how many times I watch it, I can well up a bit while I'm watching it.
Okay.
So, but again, it wasn't. Yeah, even Ryan knows. Love that movie. It wasn't a theatrical success by any means.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I watched it. I remember nothing of it.
Well, next week we're going to hear a lot about it because he's going to watch it this week.
That's right. I will.
All right, Jason, number 8.
My number 8, Dread from 2012.
Dread,
which again,
nice.
cult following. I know it's popular, but they can't seem to get a sequel going, and everybody wants it. But that movie is where we're headed. All right.
Yep.
That movie is exactly where our world is heading. So we need to study this movie so we can survive this movie.
Exactly.
That's how I see it.
Cops that never take off their helmet just because they're Sly Stallone.
And a movie where I don't think they're ever going to give up trying to get a sequel.
No, that's what I mean. We have to study it because this is what's going to happen. Cops will keep their helmets on.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. God, like, and the movie's just fucking badass, and I don't care about the comparisons to The Raid Redemption. That's a great movie too. Just leave them. They can go in their own lanes.
Every idea has been done. It's how you're going to spin your version of a story.
And they spin this one fantastic.
Literally, Hollywood will not accept an original story. If you have a 30-second pitch, you need to compare it to something before they'll even talk to you.
The only way is you got to go at your own, and then you suffer the Kevin Smith curse. And,
exactly.
But not that that's a curse, because I love the man.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Well, very, very good
Dredd.
pick.
It's
even Aaron said Dredd was great.
Yeah, it's just it'll get your blood pumping as it's splattering all over the screen.
It was nice because of the story, like you said. Even if it follows Raid, that's a great story idea, especially for that universe.
Yes,
and Carl Urban was a great judge.
Oh yes,
like I said, kept his helmet on.
Yes, and please let him put the helmet back on,
because it's not about the actor; it's about the character.
Exactly, but he nailed that.
Yeah.
So give us more.
All right, then, James. What? Who is this? Aaron said Carl Urban always has great performances, and he does.
Absolutely. Star Trek included.
Nothing better than Scourge and the Shake Weights. Right?
You can't say he didn't give it all.
More stuff.
That's right. James, number 8.
My number 8's from 2019. It's The Goldfinch.
Why does that sound familiar?
It came out in theaters very briefly. I think it was based on a best-selling book, and it came out in theaters. It got immediately trashed, and then just kind of it got ejected. It bombed huge. I watched it, and I thought it was, well, perfect for this list. Very underappreciated. It has a great story. It might be a little long to some. It's about 2.5 hours, but I thought the performances made up for it and the way the story's told. Because you got a little boy who's on a museum trip and like an explosion bomb goes off, and his mom is killed. So he goes to live with rich friends of the family, and like got Nicole Kidman in there. Jeffrey Wright's in the movie. A rare kind of bad guy performance by Luke Wilson mixed in there a bit. And the grown-up version of the kid is Ansel Elgort. But it deserves a lot more, it deserves a better fate than it was given.
I do remember these the trailers that came out for this now, because that's where I saw it the most of the time was in the theater, the trailer.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember that it came out, but I didn't catch my eye.
Yeah, it really came and went.
That's the kind of flick that my kid Tally would go to. He's more to that type, but that's not that type of film doesn't usually draw me right away.
Well, my number 8 will draw you.
Okay.
Because this is one of the two from 2000. It's 2002. And now it does have its own cult following, as any Bruce Campbell film does. But it's Bubba Hotep.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I watched that flick.
And
same here.
Where Bruce Campbell's going to play Elvis. And you've got, oh my gosh, I can't remember his name now.
Ozzie Davis.
Ozzie Davis. There we go.
Davis.
Playing JFK.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sign me up.
Okay. Yeah, damn it. I'm rewatching that one. So that one too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But again, it did not do huge at the box office.
No, it did not. Did it even get?
It did, because I remember when it came out on video, them talking about.
It definitely wasn't around here.
No.
And if you've got the DVD, it's got a commentary track with Bruce Campbell as Elvis.
Oh, see, now
he gets to the end of the movie, he's just like, oh yeah, what? That's it?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna check that out. But yeah, Bubba Hotep. That's all I got to say about that.
I definitely need to revisit that flick.
Oh boy.
Jason, number 7.
2013 Lock.
Oh, wait.
Tom Hardy in a car.
Oh, was that long ago?
2013.
Holy shit.
Yes, it's just Tom Hardy in a car as his world is imploding around him. And you're going to Tom Hardy in a car for 90 minutes. Yeah, just Tom Hardy for 90 minutes. And it works because
it's amazing.
It's good actors can do that. Like that's the same with Ryan Reynolds in Buried.
Yes.
You know, it is the exact same thing. You need the best actor you can if you're going to do that kind of story.
Yeah, it's a special type of actor who can pull that off.
Yep.
And Hardy crushes it.
Oh, there's Jeff Carl Urban equals The Man. He was a bomb in Dread, which deserves more love and a sequel.
Amen, sir.
Right? Jeff, that's another man we got to get on this show with some kind of weird list with him.
Well, anybody who has a Max Headroom avatar, I'm down for.
Exactly. Look at that. I think that's his child. Okay.
It looks like Max Headroom.
It's not Max Headroom. That's his son.
In my defense, it's across the room and it's only about 3 inches on the screen. So I apologize.
Maybe their child's name is Max.
I do apologize. Oh man.
Yeah, we're about to get text bombed here in a second.
I am so sorry,
Jason,
sir.
you son of a.
I am so sorry.
Yep. Oh, that's my kid.
Oh damn.
Ben Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms.
Somebody apparently he was doing something like a charity thing or something where he was serving at a drive-through window somewhere.
Really?
Yes.
Oh dang.
And I was hoping the clip that I saw of it, I was hoping somebody was going to yell at him, but they didn't.
Who did I just see recently?
Stone Cold Steve Austin as well.
No, Mark Hamill.
Okay.
He actually did a day at Jack in the Box because that was his first job. And he literally did voices on his first day at the job and got fired.
Oh, jeez.
So they had him come back. It was for an Omaze thing. They did a promo.
I think that's what all this is going on then, because I know Ben's done stuff with Omaze. Wouldn't surprise me if Stone Cold does. I saw the one with Stone Cold. Guy gets up and he's just getting a Coke, and there's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Hand him a Coke.
That would mess me up.
Did you want ice with that?
Answer me now. James, what's your number 7?
My number 7. Turns out I have a couple movies from the 90s on my list. This is from 1995. This is Catherine Bigelow's Strange Days.
Oh.
I don't think I ever did watch that one. Is that Rotoscope?
No. This is live action. It's one that takes place
Inner Darkly. Sorry, okay.
Takes place a few days before New Year's Eve, 1999, and it's an early film from Ralph Fiennes. You got Angela Bassett in there. One of the best Tom Sizemore performances I've seen, and I think I looked it up, but it was only Catherine Bigelow's, only her 5th movie. And in terms of end of the world kind of movies, because they talk about that a lot, it wouldn't actually happen. But it's like it's the end of the world, 1999, like when we had the whole Y2K thing,
right?
And I just don't think it gets talked about nearly enough in Angela Bassett's career, in Ralph Fiennes' career, and Catherine Bigelow's. So
Stephen Baldwin in that?
No. You've got Ralph Fiennes, Angela Bassett, Juliette Lewis, Tom Sizemore,
Michael
Wincott, Vincent D'Onofrio, William Fichtner, Glenn Plummer, Nikki Katt's in there. Yeah,
I don't think I'd ever watched that movie. That does not.
One of the guys I went to school with while I was still in. I think I was home for the weekend from college, and he was working at Blockbuster, and he recommended it. And I'm glad he did, because I've owned it ever since the 90s, VHS or DVD.
Even Aaron says the same thing. Strange Days is a great one.
And it has an awesome soundtrack too.
I like the idea of the tech in it.
Yeah.
It's worth watching. You know, it really is. Now, let me see. Trivia. Which movie did Angela Bassett star in with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Is it something I haven't seen, like Junior?
Oh, everybody's seen this. I'm going to leave this out there for a minute. We'll come back to it. My number 7 from 1992. And I watch this one at least once a year just because it's so much fun. D.B. Sweeney and Myra Kelly in Cutting Edge.
Love that.
Oh, I've only ever seen that once.
That's a classic favorite of my wife's, but we have not watched it in a long
Kindergarten Cop?
That's right.
Where is she?
Yep.
I've only seen it once, and it was actually in the theater, but I didn't know who she was at the time.
Now, when I say starred in with, I use that very loosely. She was the stewardess that when they're on the plane, and remember him and his other partner, who's supposed to be his wife, is getting ill.
Yeah. So
she runs off, and then he comes up to the air marshal and talks to the air marshal, Angela Bassett. That's her whole role.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Ryan Haskell's right.
Wow, Ryan. Or did you Google that shit?
Oh, I never thought of that. Freaking Google. But yeah, Cutting Edge. I love watching that one.
It's so fun.
That's it.
Yep.
I would get that on a t-shirt any day.
Yeah, that was like one of Crystal's favorites of the day. Like we watched that movie a lot back in the day, but we have not watched it in a very long time, actually.
Nice.
I should crack that one out on her, on surprise her with it one night.
Well, let's see what your number 6 is.
He mentioned Catherine Bigelow, right?
We did.
Yeah, 1987's Near Dark.
That's number 2.
Aha! Yes, cult following, absolutely, but highly underrated as a top vampire movie because it's just a classic modern vampire movie.
Because they never say vampire.
Well, that's key.
Yes.
But it has all the tropes of a vampire flick set in the modern day era.
He just said, I just wanted him to say it's on a tumor. He didn't realize it was from Kindergarten Cop. Nailed it.
Oh, damn.
Cutting Edge was filmed in Hamilton. No way.
Oh, wow.
And Aaron says, my dad is the judge in it, the one with the red suit jacket on.
Oh,
that is awesome.
Interesting.
Very cool.
Oh, I did not know that. See, that makes it even better for me. Okay.
But I absolutely fell in love with Mara Kelly in that flick.
Big time.
So adorable. And then I think the next flick I saw her in was With Honors.
Yep.
And yeah, absolutely. Just continue that crush.
But yes, back to the non-vampire vampires.
Oh, yes, Near Dark.
Yeah. Finger licking good.
Oh, yeah. One of Paxton's best roles for sure.
God, yes.
Henriksen just on
Jeanette
his game.
Goldstein.
Yes. Like it just hits all the marks across the board. It's a great vampire flick.
Other than the end.
You don't like the end?
It has got the worst ending in history. But when you're ready for it, because the rest of the movie makes up for it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You're going to take some 60, 70-year-old vampire, give them a blood transfusion, and they're fine. Oh, spoiler alert. Yeah, that's the only thing I hate about the movie.
All right.
But man, everything else makes up for it.
Well, you know, if it had been made now, she definitely would have died in his arms.
Oh, yeah.
They would have tried and it would have.
Yeah. They would have given. Oh, are you kidding? This isn't going to work.
Yeah.
You know, what they should have done.
They didn't have the balls back then.
Right. They got to make it a happy
They used
ending.
all their balls for the crazy gore with the Spurs.
Yes.
The Spurs.
Oh my God, Spurs. It was that movie that made me go buy Spurs.
Really?
Yeah, I still have them.
Oh, jeez.
All right, James, what's your number 6?
My number 6 from 2019, the last theatrically released film by Chadwick Boseman before he died, 21 Bridges.
Oh, yeah, that didn't get a lot of hype, did it?
No, and it's an intense movie.
I heard very little about it, but I did hear that exact phrase from a friend who did watch it. It's intense.
Two guys who kill a few cops and then have to get their asses off the island of Manhattan, and there's about 21 ways off of it. It's called 21 Bridges. It says that there's only like 17 of them are bridges, the rest are tunnels. And like Chadwick Boseman's one of the lead cops. It's like shut the whole island down, and then it's a manhunt for these two cop killers. But it's also a great performance. It says he reduced his salary so he can get his partner played by Sienna Miller. You've got J.K. Simmons in there as one of the other cops. No, it's intense.
Right. I didn't know he was in it.
Oh yes.
Because I never did watch it, so I am gonna have to watch it.
I definitely didn't watch it.
Wow.
I every once in a while, it's good to go that way.
That beats my number 6, but only because it's a different style of a movie. Mine's a comedy from 2007. It's my other 2000 movie with John C. Reilly. Because with John C. Reilly, like Will Ferrell, they seem to be either hit or miss.
Yes.
But this one was treated like a miss, but I think it's a hit so much. It's Walk Hard.
Oh, yes.
You know?
One of my favorite biopic parodies.
Exactly. The soundtrack alone.
It didn't work for me.
The songs are brilliant.
And the in jokes, especially when like he doesn't want to give in to temptations, and he walks by this group of African American singers singing doo-wop in the corner. He's like, "Oh, Temptations!" Because it's the Temptations.
Yep. The drug scene is classic. Yes, it is.
You don't want none of this.
It's on the same shelf for me as Step Brothers, where I feel like if I were to rewatch them, they might grow on me. Because Talladega Nights was the same way. I did not like Talladega Nights. Now I love it. I revisit it.
I'm the same way. I didn't like it when I first saw it.
I think I need to give both Step Brothers and that.
Maybe I'll give Step Brothers a watch too, because I hated it when I watched it, and I never watched it since.
I feel like I want to do. I think I should give them a chance.
Even with the Catalina fucking wine mixer.
It's got the classic line. Why did you let us do that? You know, like, yeah. All right, Jason, number 5.
2010's A-Team. Like, it was the perfect transition, like from TV to movie. It was the perfect version, and for some reason, it did not get well received, and I don't understand that at all, which totally killed the continuation. Like, everybody was perfect.
They were. It was the story that killed it, just because it didn't feel like an A-Team. But that's it. You don't want a 45-minute story.
This was the legit origin story of the A-Team, and it was perfect.
Except it wasn't the origin story. It was.
And Charlton Copley was awesome.
It was a perfect origin story for me. All right, yes. It worked perfectly for me.
But again, this is where it got its flack: is the fact that they called it the A-Team. It's just like Ghostbusters Answer the Call. If that was not called Ghostbusters, that film probably would have done really well.
I disagree. That one to me was a mess.
Because it was Ghostbusters. They were trying to pull on that name, had Dan Aykroyd in there, and they flipped everything. You know, girls doing the guys and the guy doing the girl. And
yeah, maybe. But I feel like it's not just the Ghostbusters part that was a problem there.
But see, that's what I mean, because I liked the A-Team too. Was it the A-Team to me? No. But the movie was good.
I thought everybody was like, of course, Liam Neeson was the perfect Hannibal.
Yep.
Like, everybody fit their role perfectly.
Yes, they did.
So, like, I wanted more of that.
especially Patrick Wilson. CIA's got rules. Ours are just cooler than yours.
that was actually the first role where he stood out to me. And then after that, I was like, Stretch, he jumped out, and then The Conjuring, and now I want to see everything.
You see him everywhere, yeah, exactly. Well, good pick.
Well, you should see him in Hard Candy then, Jason.
Hard Candy?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Is this kind of like a Ron Perlman?
No. This is
please no.
This is about 99% Patrick Wilson and Ellen Page, where she lures him over the internet as sort of like a predator and then proceeds to completely dismantle and terrorize him in his own house. It's intense. It was David Slade's It was David Slade's first movie, which he followed up with 30 Days of Night. It's awesome.
Oh, dang.
Huh. I am curious. Ellen Page, you say?
Yes.
Huh.
The artist formerly known as Ellen Page.
Well,
Ellen Page.
Back then, it was Ellen Page.
Yes, it was.
It remains Ellen Page for me in this context.
That's why I said the artist formerly known.
I understand.
And that was also a Prince reference because I got to get that in there.
And that's my confusion with when somebody transitions and they change their name. What happens to, because Elliot did not make Hard Candy.
Yep. Or
Super.
Oh my god.
Super.
Flatliners. There we go. Why was that? Oh my god, that was so hard.
She was in that?
Yeah. The remake?
I never watched it.
Oh yeah.
No. Okay.
It's not bad.
All right.
But again, it's one of those films that should not have been called Flatliners and made original.
Yeah.
James, number 5.
Number 5. My number 5 is from 2006. It is the movie Running Scared, starring Paul Walker.
Oh.
Now this is another one of those movies that takes place all in one night. And when I watched this, I hadn't yet seen Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. So this movie was the high watermark for how much worse can this guy's night get?
I remember that. Yeah, man, it just keeps going down. Like, when is it gonna get to the bottom here?
It's like his crew that he works with kills some cops, and so they give him the gun to ditch and get rid of, and then the kid next door steals it. And then somebody takes it from the kid, and then somebody buys it from the person who took it from the kid, and then it just gets worse and worse and worse.
It was good. It didn't stick with me. I never gone back to it, but my niece was like obsessed with that movie.
Oh man.
She was obsessed with it.
Yep.
And yeah, the Running Scared you popped up on the screen there.
Yeah, it's not the one I remember. 1986 with Billy Crystal. And,
well, that's why I specified 2006. All I remember from the Billy Crystal, Gregory Hines one is they replaced their windshields with bulletproof glass, and you see Billy Crystal, he's like, ha ha ha, because they're trying to shoot at it, but then they can't roll the windows down.
Well, don't worry about it. I got you covered for the 80s because my next one's from 1989. And this is one of the few Corey's movies, other than Lost Boys, I actually like.
Ooh.
Meredith Salinger's in it, and it's got a great Mel Torme song.
Yes.
Dream a Little Dream. It's one of the body switching movies, is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think if I did see it, it was when it first came out. Never looked back.
Oh, dude.
I used to watch this all the time as a kid.
This made me fall in love with Meredith Salinger. Patton, I know what that means. I'm coming. Meredith Salinger is amazing in this film.
Okay.
You know, at the same time, I would say don't watch Dream a Little Dream 2, but I gave it to you specifically to watch. So
yeah. And I keep twice now, I've put it in the player and went to push play, and it's like, I'm gonna hurt myself if I watch this. So I haven't yet. It goes from body switching movies to magic sunglasses. And
it's just bad.
I'm just not ready to make that leap yet.
Nope.
Yeah, definitely not going back on that one.
All right, number 4, Jason.
1999, The 13th Warrior.
Oh, nice. I saw that in the theater.
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
Viking flick. I love this movie because it's one of the best to me. It just feels like a solid Viking movie. It doesn't get cheesy. It doesn't it just feels more genuine. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel fake so much. And a lot of Viking type stuff tends to come across that way in my mind until recent years. Now, you know, the Vikings TV show's great. And The Northman from last year, great flick.
See, I always wonder what's going to happen because you look at the 50s and 60s Westerns, then you look at the 80s Westerns, then the 90s Westerns, and now each one gets a little more grittier. What's it going to look like in 20 years? We won't be able to watch them because it'll be blood soaked.
Exactly.
But it's probably far more accurate.
You're right.
Good pick, buddy. Good pick. James, number 4.
Okay, my number 4 is from 2015. And this one, I believe, contains the finest acting performance. Yes, I say acting performance by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it's called Maggie.
Yes.
I never did watch that.
That was great.
But yes, I always heard good things. And I heard exactly that too, that the best acting performance from Schwarzenegger.
It's probably the most dramatic zombie movie you're ever going to see. With just like knockout performance. Who is it? It's Abigail Breslin plays his daughter who gets infected with the zombie virus, which it just seems like you're going to slowly deteriorate and turn into, I don't know about a monster or whatever, but you're not going to resemble who you once were. So there's certain things that you can do to like they have cocktails or cures, not cures, but ways to manage the disease. And I don't know. It's just
progress, that kind of thing.
Slow the progress and make it more manageable. Sort of like if someone's just has terminal cancer or whatever. But yeah, it's just an acting. He just pulled it out for this one.
And this one, I just looked it up. This is on no fee. Like
I remember there was something that he did with this flick.
Yep.
Like it came across as like a passion project kind of thing for him.
$0 is what he was paid.
Okay.
And it's also the lowest budgeted movie Arnold has been in since The Terminator.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yep.
That's cool. I guess Stallone is he's doing that show Tulsa King.
Yep.
Apparently he's now quoted as saying he wants this to be his last acting gig.
Well, if you're going to go out in a bang.
Oh yeah, it's been well received.
Yep.
Been very well received.
It's a good show.
I haven't checked it out yet. I'm going through my Taylor Sheridan playlist right now. So
I would put it below all the rest of the Taylor Sheridan shows, but that does not make it not good. It just means he created it, but he hasn't really written any of the episodes, so you can tell that it doesn't quite have the spice that he puts on it.
Yeah.
But it's very entertaining.
That's what I'm hearing.
Well, my number 4 is also very, very entertaining. Nice segue, right? This is back when I was on a huge Christian Slater kick. So was everybody in 1990. And this movie in particular, what's that?
I think I know where you're going.
What do you think?
No.
This showed that anybody can be a DJ.
Yep.
Pump up the volume.
We did a viewing review.
Yes, we did.
Everybody knows
Harry Hard-On.
Dice loaded.
And Samantha Mathis, because it was interesting. They had just done, or I think they just went and did Fern Gully with right around the same time as this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Another one that I just fell in love with her, and she did a bunch of stuff in that era.
Yep.
She did
Broken Arrow.
No, there was a country. She did one with River Phoenix.
What, Night in the Life of Jimmy Reardon?
No. I can't remember it, but that was another one that she was just adorable in. But yeah, pump up the volume, man. That just again that's that 1990. That's a 80s to 90s staple, really.
Yep. And that soundtrack,
I listened to the hell out of that soundtrack. Wave of Mutilation is such a weird song, but that's the one I think I played the most.
Yep. And it was an interesting dynamic to show how people can take on personas that are completely different from themselves.
Which we've experienced.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Dr. Steve was that way.
Yeah.
The doctor is not shy about talking, but Steve is actually he's a kind of an introvert.
I kind of get
he
that
preferred
from
just to stay home and ignore people and, He's the guy that sits on the lawn and yells, "Get off my lawn!" Right? Aaron said, "I'm going to have to rewatch that. I know I saw it, but don't remember it." Oh, dude, yeah, definitely give it a rewatch. I haven't watched it this year, but when I watched it last year, it seemed to age well. But I'm not going to quote that.
It's a period piece for sure.
Yeah,
definitely a period piece. But it still plays. It's been a little bit, but I know it's still gonna work.
Completely period, because why would you be a pirate DJ when you have the internet now?
Exactly.
So,
oh yeah. But
okay, number 3, Jason.
2000s Titan AE, the movie that I believe that killed Don Bluth Studios, or like their last film. But I don't know why it gets so much hate. I honestly don't understand it. It's a fun animated flick, a badass sci-fi flick. Like, sure, it apes from Star Wars and whatnot, but what doesn't? Like, it picks good elements. It plays well. It's got a cool soundtrack, some really cool visuals. Like, why don't people like this movie?
Because it's animated. They'll already frown on a movie because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man story on film. But it doesn't get the love because it's animated.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yep. It is far from the best Spider-Man story on film.
Well, tell me your opinion. Oh, sorry. Something seems to have gone wrong. Okay, maybe you're right. There are some cooler stories, but it's an amazing story nonetheless. And it's shadowed because it's animated. Not a lot of people went to see it that would have gone to see a live action.
True.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That part I can say.
Myself included. I do kick myself that I did not see that in theater. And I am definitely going to see the next one.
Hopefully more people get on that bandwagon.
Oh, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
James, number 3.
My number three from 2019 is It Chapter 2.
Yeah, that one didn't get the love the first one did it?
No, and I think it's far better, in my opinion. Not nothing against the first. What's that?
If my kid Xander disagrees, we just had this conversation a couple days ago. He definitely disagrees with you on that one. I've never watched it. I watched the first chapter, didn't watch the second one.
Why did you watch
so much?
I got around to it.
It's so much better than the first part.
Dune 2 hasn't come out yet.
Well, if it was out and not watching it,
I'm going to be going
half
to see
a story.
That. I already know him.
Yeah.
Then why would you not see it too?
And it's not half a story because I think they got to do 3 movies to finish Dune.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. I
would highlight 3 things for that I think go underappreciated in this one. One is turning the Old Spice guy into a dramatic actor, which I didn't think was possible.
Okay.
2 was Stan's suicide scene. Like, you got Richard Mazur in the original TV movie, and it's pretty shocking mostly because of his wife's face. The reaction, she just like flips the fuck out, and you see like he's got his arm there, and he's made the letters IT, like it, in blood on it, and they completely flip it on its head for It Chapter 2, where he just does this little flashback to them all doing the whole blood brother kind of oath. And then you see him just like serenely laying on the edge of the tub, and you'd almost think he's just relaxing, but you see blood running down beneath him. The third one is, and I don't like when they shoehorn this into movies where it's just like, okay, we're just going to make these characters gay to appease some group or whatever. But I liked what they did with and they don't come out and say it, they just kind of hint at it, where Richie and Eddie may have kind of had a thing where Richie was just a little more upset than you'd expect after Eddie died at the end of the movie.
Well, and see, that was another thing I don't think we're ready for, is Bill Hader in a serious role.
Yeah.
You know,
largely serious. Yeah.
Not totally unheard of now. Like,
Yeah.
with Barry.
Yeah. Ryan says, I think the first one was writing off Stranger Things with the kids side of it.
Definitely.
It definitely felt like that. But he even
Definitely.
said he liked both. And they are good. Good pick.
And plus the acting talent you have in the second one with McAvoy and Jessica Chastain, too.
Yes.
I'll get around to it.
Mm-hmm. You're lucky I already pulled that card today, so I can't pull out a second one. Let me see. My number 3 is a couple years prior to my first one. Pump up the volume, but it is another Christian Slater movie. Kind of introduced the world to the badass boy of Christian Slater with Winona Ryder, 1988's Heathers. Greetings and salutations.
I don't know.
And I still remember the interview he did in 1989, just right after that. And someone says, you talk a lot like Jack Nicholson. He goes, yeah, I keep telling him to stop talking like me. Because, yeah, you feel Jack in that movie. And that's because of Christian Slater.
Why not?
But Heathers, man, I love that story.
I don't know. Like I only watched it like twice. Like it's good and it's weird and it's, you know, a dark comedy, which I didn't experience a whole lot, so it kind of threw me off. It just hasn't stuck with me. I'm very curious though to someday see the musical that was made.
2 points. One, I think that's why it stuck with me, because it was the first real dark comedy I'd ever seen.
Okay.
So it sticks with me too. And I started watching the musical, and watching the musical made me want to watch the original again. So I watched 20 minutes of the musical and then went back and watched the movie. I've seen the whole musical. But it's interesting the way they do the musical. The songs are fitting for what's going on, and it tells more of a story around the movie.
Okay.
Right? But it's still...
I've only ever heard one song from it, Freeze Your Brain, I think it's called.
Oh, I couldn't tell you the names.
But well, you might not have even gotten it.
Unless it's in the first 20 minutes, I didn't hear it.
So, but yeah, I'm curious to see it. So,
it's on Roku.
It is?
For free.
All right.
Okay, number 2, Jason.
I know I've talked about this movie before, but very few people have heard of it. 2002 Stark Raving Mad. Starring Sean William Scott.
Oh, okay. I've heard of it.
Fresh off American Pie. It's this silly little heist comedy movie where he's running an illegal after-hours rave to cover for bank heists as they're trying to break into the bank vault next door. And it's an after-hours rave, so there's a lot of crazy shenanigans going on, and weirdness ensues, and goofy characters in and out.
So this is coming off American Pie. Was this after American Pie was released when it was filmed? Like, does it capitalize on?
See, obviously not, because nobody's heard of this movie. I stumbled upon it.
Okay.
Oh, what is that? Stifler, you know? So I checked it out. It's him. When you only know him as Stifler, as the straight man.
Because see, I like movies like that for actors to see how they're used. And one of the prime examples is Matt Damon. You know, he was cast in Saving Private Ryan as an unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And that same year they were releasing Saving Private Ryan, Good Will Hunting came out. 3 months before the release of Saving Private Ryan.
Doesn't hurt.
So it blew up.
I'm pretty sure this came out afterwards because we knew him as Stifler at that point.
Right. But what I mean is when they were making it, had American Pie come out and they knew Stifler and they were trying to...
I want to say yes. Okay. I want to say this was made well after American Pie had been established.
Okay.
An interesting point to tack onto that, though, he almost didn't get cast in Saving Private Ryan because of how he looked in Courage Under Fire, where he was like very emaciated because he was playing like a military guy addicted to, I don't know if it's like methadone or heroin or whatever. And they just had to reassure Steven Spielberg that he doesn't usually look like this.
Yep. Although we know casting, hashtag Tom Cruise for Lobo, that would be better than anything we could ever see.
Oh, shit.
James, what's your number 2?
Yeah, just Stark Raving Mad. Highly recommended if you want to check out a goofy little heist movie. Stark Raving Mad, starring Sean William Scott. Highly recommend.
Perfect.
Nice. Mine's from 2018. I know I've mentioned this on some other list before. It is Under the Silver Lake.
I remember that name.
And it was David Robert Mitchell's follow-up to It Follows. And most people would point to It Follows as the high point of this guy's career so far, and I'd kind of be one of them, but to ignore the fact that how insanely creative he got with this movie. I mean, It Follows is a great horror movie. I wouldn't say terribly creative because the killer can be anyone. It can look like literally anyone. It doesn't really have a form. So like they were very, very good on keeping the budget low with lack of special effects. But with Under the Silver Lake, the story just goes absolutely everywhere. And Andrew Garfield knocks it out of the park, in my opinion, for this one. And just, you keep going like, how is any of this possible? Where the hell does he get all these clues from? And just, it's insane and insanely creative, in my opinion.
Okay.
I know you've talked about it on here before. You're the only time I've ever heard it mentioned.
Actually, I can safely say that too. Yes.
It just never come up. I've never seen it referenced anywhere. It's weird.
It's worth a good, honest watch.
Oh, he did not. Who taught him that?
Where am I going to find
I learned it by watching you.
Where am I going to find it?
I found it off Google Play.
All right, I'll just go digging for it.
Yeah.
All right. So that brings us to me. But we know my number 2. It is Near Dark.
Yes.
Right? Oh, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Oh. Ryan Haskell says, need an underrated actor list when you mention Garfield.
Oh.
That's a possibility.
Yeah. Someday we can definitely throw that.
Okay.
Do something like that.
So now we're to number 1, Jason.
I do want to preface this by saying this is not exactly my number 1, but I'm putting it on my number 1, and I will explain afterwards. My number 1 is from 2011, Red State.
Oh,
nice.
Not just because it's Kevin, but because it's Kevin, because it's not like any other Kevin movie.
Oh, dang, it is.
Well, outside of Tusk, but before that, Red State is not a Kevin Smith movie. And I think because people hear Kevin Smith's name, they don't want to give it a chance. But it is one of the most terrifying thriller kind of damn near horror movies. Actually, it is a horror movie. God damn it. That whole church scene with the guy in saran wrap, that's one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen on film. And that came from my man.
And is it? Oh no, it's not. What's the guy's name? I wanted to say Ray Park, but it's not Ray.
Michael Parks.
Michael Parks.
There we go.
Yes.
Thank you.
Michael Parks just going to town.
Right?
Just the
John Goodman.
Him and Kevin Pollak are the FBI agent partners.
Yeah.
And when they first arrive to the compound and they see the giant concrete cross, and Kevin Pollak says to Goodman, how much do you think a cross like that cost? And Goodman says, what, you mean in dollars or common sense?
And there was one scene in there too where Goodman was saying something and he snapped at the one cop and the cop fell back. Like, that was legit.
I believe, yes.
The actor was not prepared for how John Goodman delivered that line. And it was legit how he reacted. And I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, this movie gets intense and crazy. You can the opening and the initial hook premise is definitely got Kevin's thumbprints all over it, sure. But god damn, is it terrifying. And so Red State all the way. And the only reason I said it isn't is because I just got to say the Clerks trilogy should always, everyone should experience. I understand that it's not going to be for everyone, but that entire trilogy tells an amazing story. So just throwing that out there, the entire Clerks trilogy should always be loved.
Oh my God. And this one had a protest too.
Of course.
The Westboro Baptist Church planned to protest Red State at the premiere at Sundance.
Yep.
Kevin Smith, in turn, planned a counter-protest which he and his fans took part in. At the premiere, the counter-protesters heavily outweighed the handful of Westboro protesters who showed up. This occurred 12 years after Smith's first film to tackle religious controversy, Dogma, drew protests.
Which Kevin went to.
Yep.
There's news footage of Kevin being interviewed on the local news, bad-mouthing himself. Like he's why is this movie? Because they said because it's bad. Like I shouldn't make this kind of stuff.
Yeah. I've seen that footage. It's brilliant. So yeah, Red State, definitely a good one.
Actually, at the premiere though, he's the one girl, I think her name is Megan, from that family, the Westboro Baptist Church. She did come in with some of them, but they left about like 20 minutes in.
Of course.
They left fairly early. She goes, we appreciate it, but we're going to go.
Yeah.
And she ended up leaving the church. And she was the biggest like loudspeaker against him and whatnot. And she finally got out.
Dang. But it's worth a watch. It is.
It is based on the Westboro Baptist Church, just turned up to a 12, not even 11 to 12.
Exactly. All right, James, number one.
My number one is from 1999. It is The Virgin Suicides.
Oh yeah.
I expected it to be the Total Recall remake.
Well, and my brother also expected me to put Gigli on my list, and I had totally forgot about that one. But no, like most people would point to Lost in Translation for Sofia Coppola, and I would count that as probably her second best movie. I would point to this one she did 4 years earlier. This is her debut film, and it's got like small parts from like Josh Hartnett, Kirsten Dunst. Narration by Giovanni Ribisi, which is just awesome. Brief shots of Michael Paré. One of the first on-screen acting performances by Hayden Christensen, although very, very brief.
She had access to a lot of people because her family knows people.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's handy.
And James Woods, Kathleen Turner, and she made a damn good movie.
I've always heard good things, but it was just never anywhere near my radar. It just didn't sound like it'd be my cup of tea.
It's a very subdued film.
Yeah, see,
I don't do subdued.
That doesn't draw me usually.
But I do want to. I did want to watch it when it came out, never did, and I keep seeing it and going, I got to watch that, and then 10 seconds later, it's like, oh look, squirrel. And
I've been that way actually with the other one you mentioned, Lost in Translation.
Yeah, it is not a feel-good movie like Lost in Translation is.
Of course, we all know we would go see Lobo if Tom Cruise was in it. Right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. My number one. I know I've talked about my number one a lot, and I can't sing its praises enough, although it didn't do very well, and I don't know why, considering it's the only super serious role I know Michael J. Fox ever did. Casualties of War.
Yep.
He and Sean Penn just chew up that film. Not to mention everybody else that's in there. John C. Reilly, John Leguizamo, Ving Rhames.
That was a one-time watch for me. I've never gone back.
It's a tough film to watch.
I think that's why.
Yes. Like when I was with my ex, she was the same way. She goes, no, it makes me feel horrible. I go, it's doing its job, because that's literally why the film was made. So you wouldn't feel good about what was going on then,
Yeah.
Jeffrey Rook says, man, I consider myself a movie buff, but a lot of these I haven't seen.
There's a lot of movies out there and nobody can have seen them all.
It's because they're underrated. So they're never really talked about.
That's what this was all about. Yes,
exactly. So if you get a chance, you have got to see some of these, especially Casualties of War. I'm trying to bring it at Casualties. It's hard to type one-handed. 1989. Yeah, Michael J. Fox is in it. Sean Penn, directed by Brian De Palma. John Leguizamo, Ving Rhames. Oh, it's got them all mixed up. Yeah. But yeah, dang. And it's a story based on an actual news article from the New Yorker. Is it the New Yorker? Or something, one of those big magazines during the 60s and 70s, where this person was in the military and the group did this. They kidnapped a Vietnam woman and took her with her, raped her, and then ended up killing her. And the guy reported it, and nothing really big happened until got more serious. And this is that story.
Hmm.
But yeah, Sean Penn is just insanely good in this serious role.
Sean Penn usually is.
Or sorry, Michael J. Fox.
Oh.
I was looking at Sean Penn's picture. But yeah, Sean Penn's really good too.
Oh.
He's got this weird Bronx accent. Right?
He does that. He's all in when he does that.
Yeah.
And to think that was Spicoli.
Right? Oh, this is far from even, like I say, even John C. Reilly in this particular movie is so different from his normal.
Those rare serious moments from Riley are usually pretty standout.
Yeah. Like that's Boogie Nights. I love him in Boogie Nights.
Yes.
Because it's not the goofy,
Yep,
stepbrother-ish kind of character or Dewey Cox kind of thing.
He's not a dimwit.
Yep. I'm scanning through the list real quick, but I can't pick up anybody else's name. But yeah, when you watch it, you will love it. Or hate it because you love it. Or love it because you hate it. There we go. Sorry, that's what I meant. Oh well. So yeah, there we go. Those are our top 10 underrated films of today.
For now.
It might change tomorrow.
There'll be probably more, maybe some different ones next time around. Again, we'll revisit this in like 6 months. Whatever.
I've been looking at the screen. It looks like I'm wearing a medal or something.
But it does kind of
2 lightsabers. It's
you got some bling,
right? Olympic gold medalist. Me and Kurt. That's it. All right. Well, in that case, for another week at the Movie Madhouse, I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
We'll see you all later.
Bye.
Toodles.
I say shut up! It's a man!